Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to DJAZAIR One Eye on latest weekly news. Here are the headlines, details that will be discussed shortly thereafter. Visit of President of Transitional Sovereignty Council of the Republic of Sudan to Algeria, and President Tebboune receives welcome and expresses Algeria's support for Sudan against forces of evil. President Tebboune arrives at Kirpesem to chair ceremony of Military Football Cup final. Italy-Africa Summit attempts arrival to Rome to represent President of the Republic and holding talks with several of his counterparts. PM receives Tunisia Interior Minister and his visit to National Security Command and Control Center in Algiers. Gujil welcomes President of National Assembly of Madagascar. UN Chief says UNRWA is backbone of Gaza aid response. UN Security Council convenes over ICJ ruling on provisional measures in Gaza. And Morocco's disappointing exit from Afghan defeat against South Africa ends hopes in round of 16. Welcome back to details. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, reserved a solemn welcome to the President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of the Republic of Sudan, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan Abdelrahman, at the headquarters of the Presidency of the Republic. The two presidents listened to the two national anthems before reviewing the formations of the forces of the People's National Army, which paid tribute to them. The President on Sunday renewed Algeria's support for Sudan to overcome the current hard situation and face the forces of evil targeting it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد. في البداية أرحب بأخي عبد الفتاح البرهان رئيس مجلس السيادة لدولة السودان الشقيقة والوفد المرافق له، متمنيا لهم إقامة طيبة بين إخوانهم وفي بلدهم الثاني الجزائر. يعلم الجميع طبيعة العلاقات الأخوية بين الشعبين الجزائري والسوداني الضاربة في التاريخ والمبنية على أواصر التعاون الوثيق والصداقة والاحترام المتبادلين.
The President of the Republic, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense arrived Tuesday afternoon at the Grouping of Preparation Center for Military Sports Teams, Kirpesem Shahid Masoud Boujayo in Beneknoun in Algiers, to chair the ceremony of the 51st Algeria's Military Football Cup final. Upon his arrival, the President of the Republic was greeted by General Saïd Chengriha, the Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, where he listened to the national anthem while units of the different military forces paid him the honors. Later on, the President greeted the Commander of the Republican Guard, the Security General of Ministry of National Defense, the Commanders of the Armed Forces and the National Gendarmerie, the Commander of the 1st Military Region, and the Head of the Army Staff's Employment and Preparation Department, and the Head of the Military Sports Service. More details in the video as follows.
القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة وزير الدفاع الوطني، الفريقان المنشطان لنهائي كأس الجمهورية العسكري لكرة القدم في طبعتها 51 جاهزان. العقيد بوزيدي منير مصلحة الرياضات العسكرية لدائرة الاستعمال والتحضير بأركان الجيش الوطني الشعبي.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, reached Rome on Sunday to represent the President of the Republic at the Italy-Africa Summit, scheduled for Monday according to the Ministry of Press release. The Minister held a series of meetings with his counterparts from Benin, Mauritania, Tunisia, Madagascar and Côte d'Ivoire. On the sidelines of his participation as the representative of the President of the Republic in Italy-Africa Summit, the Ministry said in a statement. The Prime Minister Nabil Arbawi received Tuesday at the Government Palace the Minister of Interior of the Republic of Tunisia, Kamal Feki, who's on a working visit to Algeria with the framework of the first session of the Bilateral Commission for the Development and Promotion of the Algeria-Tunisia boundary region, said the press release from the Prime Minister's office. The Tunisian Inferior Minister paid a visit to the National Security Command and Control Center in Algiers on Monday, accompanied by the Minister of the Interior, local authorities and national planning Brahim Moured. The Tunisian minister focused Monday on the successful and constructive security coordination between Algeria and Tunisia on the border strip, stressing to the point that Tunisia's security and stability is linked with those to Algeria. The Speaker of the Council of Nations Upper House of Parliament, Salah Goudiel, welcomed Monday at the Upper House's headquarters the President of National Assembly of Madagascar, with whom he examined prospects of bilateral cooperation and discussed many issues. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has described the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency UNRWA as the backbone of all humanitarian response in Gaza and appealed to all countries to guarantee the continuity of the UNRWA's life-saving work. Describing conditions inside the besieged enclave, the UN chief said heavy rains were flooding makeshift tent camps, forcing children, parents, and elderly to sleep in the mud. Clean water has become almost completely inaccessible and preventable diseases are rife, while the health system has collapsed. The Gaza Health Ministry says Nasser and Al-Amal hospitals have run out of food and Zionist siege of Khan Yunis medical centers continues.
Struggling to speak because the situation is beyond words.
UN Relief Chief tells Security Council aid to Gaza continues to be blocked. Palestinian officials accuse Zionist troops of killing at least 30 civilians, executive style, after blindfolded bodies with hands bound and discovered in a mass grave in northern Gaza. Zionist Benjamin Netanyahu is under mounting pressure from families and captives of international community to reach a ceasefire deal with Hamas, but he vows to continue the Gaza attack. At least 26,900 people have been killed and 66,000 wounded in Zionist attacks on Gaza since October 7th. The United Nations Security Council convened on Wednesday, January 21, 2024, at the request of Algeria to deliberate on the ruling issued by the International Court of Justice (ICJ) concerning the provisional measures to be taken to prevent a Zionist genocide in the Gaza Strip. The permanent representative of Algeria to the United Nations, Ammar Benjama, stated that the session convenes as the Zionist aggression against the Palestinian people approaches its fifth month. He emphasized the historic nature of the IJZ's ruling declaring the end of an era of impunity for the Zionist occupation. Benjama warned that those behind the acts of genocide in Gaza will be recorded in history as war criminals and enemies of life and humanity. Morocco's national football team faced a crushing blow as they were eliminated from the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON after 2-0 defeat against South Africa in the round of 16. The defeat means the end of Morocco's journey in the AFCON, a tournament where they had high expectations. On the other side, South Africa's victory propels them into the quarterfinals, where they are set to face Cape Verde. The jubilant South Africa team displayed the commendable performance that secured their spot in the next stage of the competition. We wrap up with this impressive interview between one of Sky News journalists and the Hollywood-star filmmaker Myriam Francois about the war in Gaza. Let's see it together.
I do. And I also think the West needs to start to understand that you cannot just go around playing cowboys in the world. There are consequences to your actions. You cannot just go around bombing people's countries, ignoring international law and expect no repercussions. For every cause, there is a consequence. 55,000 people are dead in Gaza right now. There are over 60,000 people injured with no access to food, water, aid. How dare we have a conversation about trade when there are children right now being treated without anesthetic?
Well,
there are things that require us to make some sacrifices, and this would be one of them.
They do have the global economy, global markets hostage.
Good for them.
Bill Browder.
Good for them. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
That's all for today. Many thanks. Wishing you a blissful weekend. See you next week. Goodbye.